What's up guys, it's your girl Shirley and welcome back to another video. Also happy holidays to you. Today's going to be pretty exciting. I'm going to be making a corset top. Now I've seen this trend going around lately. It's been kind of a boom and I really like it, so I wanted to hop on that trend. So I'm just going to be taking you guys along on how I start and finish creating my garments from sketch to all the way to the finished product. So that's what we're going to be doing today. How I start creating my stuff is that I like to sketch my designs down. I use my iPad Pro and I use the Procreate app to sketch out all of my ideas, get all of that technical details down so that way I can get a general idea of what I want to make and how I want to make it. So now that I've sketched out my design, I'm now going to bring out my dress form. This is Claire, say hi. And I'm going to map out the design onto my dress form now. So I'm just going to use my twill tape and I'm just going to get some pins and I have my scissors and I'm just going to follow along under the bust line right here since it is a corset top and I want it to look snatched. So I'm just going to pin right along under the bust and I'm going to stop about right here at the center of the chest, because I'm only going to be draping half of the garment onto my dress form. That way when I cut it out on fabric, I'm going to end up getting two pieces of the side. So I'm just going to continue pinning all around all the way until I get there. Now that I'm at the middle, I'm just going to snip it. And then I'm going to change my neckline. I want it a little bit lower than it is right now, just so that way it's not choking somebody.
Are you choking? Are you choking? Help me! Help me!
I'm going to do a little bit about half an inch from her neck. So I'm done mapping the design out onto Claire, as you can see here. So now the next step for me is that I'm going to start draping. So I'm actually going to get my muslin, which is this fabric right here. And I'm only going to take what I need, so I only need about a yard. So I'm just going to cut that out. Okay, and then I'm going to split it into two so that way I can get two pieces both for the front and the back. Satisfying. Now before I can start officially draping, I have to mark my center pieces of the muslin. So what I'm going to do is that right here on the lengthwise grain, I'm just going to measure 1 inch from the outside and mark that. And this is going to lay on the center front of my dress form, and the extra inches is just in case I need extra inches for when I make the garment if it's too small and I at least have some extra fabric to use, or it's seam allowance for if I have a zipper or buttons, and in this case I'm going to have a zipper. So now I can start draping. So I'm going to take my muslin, and for this garment there's going to be separate pieces. There's going to be one for the top and multiple pieces for the bottom, since I'm going to be stitching them together to make a fitted look. So we're going to start with the bottom first. So I'm going to take the line that I drew and I'm just going to place it right on the center front of my dress form. I'm just going to pin the center front all the way down up to until I get to my hem of, or a little bit below the hem of my garment. So I'm just going to keep pinning. I'm going to do anchor pins so that way it does not move at all when I'm draping. And now I'm going to smooth right under the bust, and I'm going to stop about midway in the middle of the body, and that's going to be my princess line. That is going to be one of the seams I'm going to be using to form the corset. So I'm just going to do, again, anchor pins down that. Now I am done pinning, and I'm just going to mark the garment now. So I'm just going to mark right here under the bust, and I'm just going to do some quick dashed lines. And then once I get to the princess line, make my way down. And this is my hemline right here, where I would most likely want the top to finish. So I'm just going to hem that. And once I am done and satisfied with how I mark it, then I just lay it out on the table. So I have my piece laid out on the table right here. So this is the marking of the center front to princess line. It looks so tiny down here. So what I'm going to do right now is something called truing, where I am basically going to finalize the lines that I've drawn. So I'm just going to take my ruler, and I'm just going to make sure everything is how it's supposed to be. So I have my straight edge ruler, and I'm just going to mark everything. And then for the curves, I like to use my French curve, which is this tool right here. And I'm just going to curve right here. This is under the bust, where I am curving right now. And then I'm going to curve right here on the waist. And once I'm done truing this part, then I start adding the seam allowance. So I like to use 1/2 inch seam allowance when I'm doing seams inside. So I do 1/2 inch here, especially if there's curves. The smaller the better. That way it won't be so bulky. And then for the hem, I'm going to do 1 inch, just in case. And now I can cut it out. Now here's my little piece right here. So right here on this outside edge, this is where my center front was at. So I'm just going to write CF just for reference. And this extra fabric, since I am adding a zipper, I'm just going to write zipper there. I like writing notes on my patterns, just so that way I remember in the future what to put and what not to put. So this is going to be my front princess. And now this is going to be the process for every piece that I put onto the dress form. So I'm just going to time lapse this. So now that I'm done draping the corset and she's looking all snatched up, I'm now going to drape the top portion of the top. So I'm just going to do the same thing again, but this time I just have to mold it around her bust and cut out the armhole and then bring it all the way to the back. And then once I'm done with that, then I just have to do the sleeves. So we're going to speed through this one for the sake of the length of this video. Let's get on to it. Finished draping the top now. So what's next to do is to cut out the fabric and start sewing, and that's going to be in the next video. So if you guys are interested in seeing part 2 of making a corset top in this series, then all you have to do is click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that way you're notified when I do post that video. And that's a wrap. Okay guys, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.